On January 28, 1986, the Challenger shuttle exploded just seconds after takeoff.
Space shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Killing all 7 crew members, including Krista McAuliffe, who was supposed to be the first teacher to fly to space. This was a moment of national shock, uncertainty, and grief. And yet, Reagan's response, written by Peggy Noonan, is largely considered one of the greatest crisis speeches of all time. Why? Because it wasn't just a statement, it was a masterclass in public speaking. Today, we're breaking down what made the Reagan Challenger speech so great and what aspiring leaders can learn from it.
Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss.
Great public speaking isn't just about what you say, it's about when and how you say it. Reagan was originally scheduled to deliver the State of the Union address that night. Instead, he delayed it, understanding the country didn't want policy updates. It needed leadership, reassurance, and unity. The ancient Greeks called this kairos, the right time and place to speak. It's actually an archery term referring to the exact right moment to release an arrow. Rhetorically, Reagan was able to provide at just the right moment a message of national mourning and toughness.
We mourn their loss as a nation together. To the families of the 7, we cannot bear, as you do, the full impact of this tragedy. But we feel the loss, and we're thinking about you so very much. Your loved ones were daring and brave, and they had that special grace, that special spirit that says, give me a challenge, and I'll meet it with joy. They had a hunger to explore the universe and discover its truths. They wished to serve, and they did. They served all of us.
Reagan's delivery was measured, but deeply emotional. His voice carried a weight of sadness and empathy, but he allowed pauses to let the gravity of the situation sink in.
We've grown used to wonders in this century. It's hard to dazzle us. But for 25 years, the United States space program has been doing just that. We've grown used to the idea of space, and perhaps we forget that we've only just begun. We're still pioneers. They, the members of the Challenger crew, were pioneers.
He also described the astronauts as brave explorers who were pushing boundaries. He complimented their bravery and commitment to excellence. He reinforced that their sacrifice wasn't in vain and that they should inspire the nation to keep pushing forward. By doing this, he framed the disaster not just as a defeat, but as a painful necessary step in the pursuit of progress. This is a lesson for any speaker. When addressing a crisis, don't just focus on the loss. Remind your audience of their strength.
And I want to say something to the school children of America who were watching the live coverage of the shuttle's takeoff. I know it's hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of the process of exploration and discovery. It's all part of taking a chance and expanding man's horizons. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. We'll continue our quest in space. There will be more shuttle flights and more shuttle crews, and yes, more volunteers, more civilians, more teachers in space. Nothing ends here. Our hopes and our journeys continue.
But beyond his tone, his words reflected a deep empathy. Instead of just addressing the public, he spoke directly to the families of the lost astronauts. He also directly addressed all the children that were watching live. People across the country were in a state of deep shock and disbelief over what just happened. This is a critical lesson for any communicator. Before people can care about what you say, they have to feel that you care.
The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us for the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. Thank you.
And Reagan ended not just with despair, but with a sense of grandeur, finality, and eternal remembrance. It's an unforgettable conclusion, and one that cemented this speech as a timeless example of rhetorical excellence. Reagan's Challenger speech was more than just words. It was an example of how a great leader communicates in a time of crisis. He understood the needs of the moment. He spoke with compassion and empathy. He framed the tragedy as part of a larger story. He honored the fallen, and he ended with unforgettable, powerful imagery. So here's the real question. What leaders today can speak like this, with unity over division? Is there anyone who's capable of this? Let me know in the comments below who you think is capable of bringing America together in a time of crisis. And if you want to level up your communication skills, be sure to subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.